Hey there, everybody. Welcome for joining us here on Creating for Christ for our World Card Making Day marathon celebration. We are focusing on partnering with a charity called For the Love of Elders. Julie found it, and we just believe so much in their mission that we want to bring awareness to it as well. And all of us, we have almost 7,000 of you on this group alone that truly believe in using creativity to honor Christ. And what better way can we do that than to uplift the spirits of others, share His word, share His love, and serve others through our creativity. So today is just one of those awesome made-up holidays that brings awareness to us mailing out cards. I wish I could join you guys live all day today. I have an actual big convention that I'll be at. So thanks to Julie and Christy and Jennifer for kind of being here all day. We will be doing prizes. So as a reminder, for every card you send out today, post it on our group, share with us, let us know how many you're sending out, and you're going to get an entry into a drawing for some really awesome prizes. We're going to be sending them out all over the world. So share with us. Let's see the power of what we can do in even one day, because your cards make a difference. Your words make a difference. Sometimes though, you might not know what to say inside. So today's project I'm going to share with you is going to be making what we call a blessing box. So yes, today is World Card Making Day, but I also feel like with our love for the elders or for anybody in our life, sometimes we could give a little box that might have something inside, or even just words of encouragement. Last October, this was a class that we ran, and we provided you with some scriptures or just some encouraging words that you could print off and put on the inside. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a card, because yes, today is World Card Making Day. And I'm going to feature one of my favorite stamp sets called Ridiculously Awesome out of the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And I'm also, though, going to show you how you can make a box all on your own with just a piece of cardstock. And then you could put a little something in it. We call them blessing boxes, so that you could then give it to somebody else and share your many blessings that you have and give them a reason today to smile or to just bring some joy to them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn you down. And I'm going to sit down so we can start creating together. So this is pre-recorded, by the way, so I'm not live. So don't try to ask me a bunch of questions, because I'm not going to be answering you. But I am going to turn you down so we could do a little bit of crafting together. So the first thing I'm going to be pulling out some supplies here. I love the Peony Garden paper from Stampin' Up! Is definitely one of my favorites for year-round crafting. What I did first was, because the love for elders, I will be sending out cards obviously to the elders in my life as well, but there's a lot that I don't know, and so I don't know what personal words to put in there. So I went, of course, to the Creating for Christ file section. It's an incredible resource for you, where we have tons of scripture verses that are in beautiful fonts, all ready for you to use. So I went to the file section and I typed in the word for the search function for blessing boxes. And these were some of the ones that we used. We've got so many beautiful scriptures on there. So again, use that resource. So this is the first thing I did. I went and printed some of these off, and I printed it on our Whisper White cardstock. We are just going to make one quick card, and then I'm going to show you how to make a blessing box to go with it, all right? So this is our basic gray, and I'm just going to fold that in half. I cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. And this is the Peony Garden Designer Series paper. It is on sale this month for anybody who doesn't have it yet or wants to get more of it. I'm going to cut a piece of Whisper White down here at 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to cut this beautiful Designer Series paper. This is basic gray. And it also has like a lot of pretty of the petal pinks inside of it as well. So it's a pretty simple color scheme. There's really only 2 or 3 colors that match it. So this is going to be 3 1/2, a little bit smaller, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So I just shave off 1/4 inch, and that I am going to layer onto that piece of Whisper White. when you're really focusing on sending out a lot of cards, guys, they don't have to be complicated. They're gonna be very simple. The person who's getting it is just gonna be so happy to have a card. So don't overthink it, all right? Very simple. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue that down. And in this suite is this gray granite satin ribbon. It is just stunning. So we're gonna use that. You could use a white ribbon if that's all you own, or you don't put any ribbon on at all. But I love to add a little bit of ribbon. So this is the gray granite satin ribbon. And I'm just gonna tie a little bow off here to the side. And just gonna go ahead and make that. Oops, there you go. All right, and trim that off. Now my next step is going to be to do a little bit of stamping. Nancy, do you think you could bring me my 2-inch circle punch? I left it over there. All right, so we're going to then put this down to the front of our card. Isn't that beautiful? Now basic gray is a little, again, this is where I am going to take one of our scripture verses that we used and put on the inside. So let's see, I'm gonna do, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. That could be anybody maybe who's going through cancer treatments, or somebody who is trying, someone who's in college. It could be for any occasion. Of course, if we're focusing on love for the elders, then most likely, thank you, it's gonna be somebody who might be struggling with some health issues, or missing their family, or all kinds of things. So I'm gonna cut this out and put this in the inside of our card. So then there's a little bit of room there for me to be able to do just, a little bit of writing, but look how perfect that is. Isn't that beautiful? And the fonts are beautiful that you could do. All right, so now let's go ahead and glue this down to the front. Thank you, Nancy. Oh, look, there's my heater. We're in Michigan. Last week, my air conditioner kept kicking on, and this week, my heater's kicking on. So there is the outside of our card. I'm just gonna use the stamp set, Ridiculously Awesome. It's obviously one of my favorites. It's one that I helped inspire for the owner of our company, Sean Douglas. His wife is our CEO, and he designed it for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this, let your faith be bigger than your fear. And I'm just sticking with basic gray. So I don't wanna add a whole lot of different crazy colors, being very, very simple. You could put a favorite, if someone has a favorite color, you could always put that on there. And then we're going to take some dimensionals. It's time for me to open up a new package. I've used up all that other one. All right, so we're gonna take some dimensionals and stick those down there, just like that. And we're going to pull those off and let your faith be bigger than your fear. Now what I am gonna add a little pop of color to this, and that is with some of the, I got two things. I got the Elegant Gems, and then I got some vellum. So I took a small little flower punch. This is our small blooms punch. And I'm gonna punch out just a couple of these flowers. And using our mini glue dots, we're gonna add them to our card. I'm gonna add 2 of them. And so again, it's not a bunch of color, but you'll see I am gonna add a little bit of color here. I'm just gonna add one up here, kind of to the top. And then I'm gonna add one down here to the bottom. So I used just a little mini glue dot to stick that down there. And then we're going to use our Elegant Gems just to add a bit of special sparkle. And I'm using the ones that have a little bit of the pink inside of it there. So it does have a little bit of color there. So that's it. Look at our beautiful, simple card that someone is going to absolutely love to get in the mail. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then inside is your verse that will give them some uplifting, and then you can give a little personal message. Now what I wanted to show you was taking it a step further and making an actual blessing box out of it. So look, the card I started off with, same thing, a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. This one though, we're going to do some scoring. So we're gonna score it at 1 inch on that side and 1 inch on this side, all right? And then we're gonna go the other direction. Gosh, I haven't made this in a while. I hope I remember and do it correctly. We'll see. We're gonna score it at 1 inch for the flap. And then we're going to go down to the 4, I think it's 4.5. So 4.5 and 5.5 and then 10. Now the 10 one, we are actually, 10, and then you have your 11. So I didn't have to do any cutting. So this is 4.25 by 11. I scored it at 1 inch, at 4.5, 5.5, and then 10. Super easy. You guys can make all your own blessing boxes. You don't have to, have anything super crazy and special. Now you can watch me kind of assemble this. So I'm just gonna fold along all of these lines, and we're going to put our box together. So I'm just gonna snip along the edges here. Okay, and snip down this side as well. We're so grateful you're spending today with us, and we are so excited to see the power of all the cards that are going to go out. We're so excited. All right, so I'm gonna put some glue on these middle flaps here and these bottom flaps here. Okay, so I put glue on the middle flaps and these bottom flaps. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these up and create the bottom of our box. The top you can actually seal shut, or you can make it so it opens and closes. I think I want to make it so it opens and closes. So what I want to do though is I'm going to take off these little flaps right here. We don't need those. Those kind of get in the way. So we'll just cut those right off. All right, so just like that, we made a perfect, oh look, my measurements were not quite right, but I can fix this. I'm going to give you the correct measurements when I do this. We need to cut off, I need to score, I'm gonna cut this off. And then I'm gonna score this at 1 inch, and then it's gonna be perfect. There we go. So I'm gonna give you the correct measurements here in just a second. So we're gonna cut this off. That was 1 inch too long. There you go. And then we're gonna do this one. There, now we have a perfect box that is going to just fit right in there. And then the flap will go over, or you can tuck the flap in. So let's go ahead and decorate this box. I'm gonna use the same paper that we already did. So we gotta cut some of our Designer Series paper. It's 2 inches wide. So 2 and 2. And then we need to make it at 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. And cut that. So that's gonna give us a top and bottom of our box. Now you could even give this box to the person you're actually giving the card to as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that on there, the top, the bottom, which you don't have to do the bottom, but I did. On the inside, I want to add in another one of our verses that we did. How about this one? I pray many blessings upon you today. That one is really, really nice as well. And then here's the other ones. Let's see what else we have. Lots of plain piece of white. We'll do this one. So I know this needs to be, it can't be any bigger than 2 inches to fit inside my box. So I need to cut this at 2 inches, or maybe 2 1/8. And then it needs to be at 3 1/4. So I'll just trim a little bit here off the top and then do 3 1/4. And that will fit the inside of our box. So that when they open the box, so this is the same measurement that I did for the lid, right? So then when they open the box up, you can fill it up with just some candy, whatever you want to put in there, something fun, and then it's a little blessing. You could fill it up with some scripture verses if you want to, but it says, I pray many blessings upon you today. So there you go. Now, obviously, you could decorate the top of the box. I like to kind of snip these off a little bit, so it makes the box go in really much easier. So just kind of snip those edges off. Watch, now it'll go in much easier. See, it just slides right in. So the top, let's do the same thing. Let's stamp the let your faith be bigger than your fear, right? Punch it out with your 2 inch circle punch. And then you could wrap your ribbon around that as well. We're gonna stick our little one on here. This one, I'm gonna add a little flower there to the top. So let your faith be bigger than your fear. You can punch out another flower. We're gonna add that with a little mini glue dot. So it's a little coordinating little blessing box as well. And then we can add one of the gems to the middle of it too. You could even sprinkle on a couple gems going around there, like that. Now you could seal this shut with a ribbon if you wanted to as well. You could also just have them, you could just tuck that right in there. And there you go. There's a blessing box. It's going to match our beautiful card. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are so grateful for you. We're praying that this event we're doing has been fun for you, and that make sure you put your entries in so you have a chance to win some prizes. Bye-bye.